Hey everyone, so this is the Chapter 2 Medisoft overview video. So we're going to work through the exercises for Chapter 2. We are working out of the Chymo, Computers, and the Medical Office textbook. It is by Sanderson. It's the 9th edition Medisoft textbook, and we are working off of the Medisoft V19 at-home student version, which you should have installed by now from the disk that was given to you when you purchased it. So the first step, if we're looking at page 55, starting with exercise 2.1, the first couple of exercises are basically just clicking around different areas and getting to know the functions, the general functions of Medisoft. And so that's what we're going to do first. So the first step on page 55 says to practice using the Medisoft menu. So to start Medisoft, I'm going to launch Medisoft, and I'll probably have something pop up because I didn't back up my stuff when I closed it last. So let's see. Let me get rid of this stuff here when it pops up. There we go. So starting with 2.1, start Medisoft, click the list menu on the menu bar. So we're going to go up here. This is your menu bar here. We're going to click lists, patient, guarantors, and cases. And then the patient list dialog box opens up. Now yours may open up and look a little smaller. I have mine set to open up to full size. So either way, you can always make it a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, depending on whatever your preference is. So then oops, let me make this bigger. Then it tells you to close, click the close button at the bottom of the dialog box, so that's right down here. We're going to close that. It tells you to click the activities menu. Click the activities menu, enter transactions. The transaction dialog entry box pops up here, and then again we're going to click close. If you don't want to click close here, you could have also clicked the red X in the upper right hand corner as is instructed in the 2.1 directions. So that's it for 2.1. For 2.2, we are going to go and click on the provider list button, lists, and provider. So now we have the provider list dialog box open. We're going to close the box by clicking the red X in the upper right corner of the window. So we're going to close that out. We're going to click the procedure code list button, so lists, and then procedure codes. And once again, we will click close or the red X. Either one of those will accomplish the closing of the window. So that's it for 2.2. Moving on to page 58, exercise 2.3, editing data. We're going to click the activities menu, and we will click enter transactions. And then in the drop down arrow in the chart box here, we are going to scroll. Now you can either scroll and look for the patient that we're going to look for, which is James Smith, or here you can type in SM and find James L. Smith, and we're going to select him. And then James Smith's data will populate here into this window. And so we're going to press the tab key. To edit the transaction, we're going to click in whatever field it is that needs to be changed. So for this case, we're going to change the procedure field. And so we're going to click the entry that says 92516. So here we go, 92516. And the entry then, whatever field we have highlighted that we're going to work in, turns blue. So that gives you an idea of where it is that you are going to be making changes. So once again, we're going to click this drop down menu, and we're going to select a new code from the list by clicking on it. So we're going to scroll down until we see the code 99396. So scrolling down, 99396. So 99396. And then we can click Tab to get out of there. And then that entry should be saved. Now, there are pictures, screenshots of what this should look like in your textbook. So if you look over on page 59, all of these steps, step by step, have screenshots that follow the directions step by step. So if you ever get lost, make sure you're following along very closely in your book, because on page for this exercise, page 59 and 60 shows you what the screen should look like in Medisoft as you're making these changes. So we're going to keep pressing the tab key over and over and watch as the cursor moves box to box. So before you close, this is what I would like you to do, because this is how you get credit for doing your assignments. One thing I would like for you to do is to print your screen at the end of each of your exercises. So you're going to function print screen, and then you will go over to your Word document. I have one open here, Chapter 2 Medisoft assignments, and then name, and this is the screen for exercise 2.1 or 2-1, whichever way you want to do it. Now you could edit these. If you make these big enough for me to see, I will be greatly appreciative. You don't have to edit them, but it does help me quite a bit and when I go to grade. So if you want to make them bigger, then you can do that. In fact, I may make that mandatory. I haven't decided yet. This was actually 2-2. I lied. It's 2-3. So then I'm going to put 2-4 here so I can screenshot and paste that. So back over to Medisoft, then we're going to click Close. And we, per the directions, are not saving that transaction. Okay, so moving on to page 63, we are going to change the date for Medisoft because that is important. It's important that we have the correct date format in here, otherwise you'll have difficulties posting some things. So you definitely want to read through this whole entire section, and that should be the case for you as you work through this entire book. You cannot skip steps going through this book. I'm just forewarning you now. If you skip a step someplace, it will undoubtedly throw you off somewhere in a future exercise or assignment. So you definitely do not want to skip steps while you're working through this book. The book is set up for you to go step by step, and it has screenshots and step-by-step directions for you to follow so that you can accomplish all of the exercises and do them in chronological order and not have issues going further into the book. So for exercise 2.5 on page 63, it says that the following steps are used to change the Medisoft program date in Windows 7 and Windows 8. Now I'm working off Windows 10, so we'll see if this works. So we're going to click the program date on the File menu, set program date, and then the pop-up calendar comes. It's displayed in the lower right corner of the window. Okay, so to change the date, I click on your month first. So if the exercise calls for the date to be August, it will pop up and warn you that you've selected a future date. This is April that I'm recording this video, and I'm working in August. So you can either, again, go up to the File menu here and set the program date, or you can also click on the date down here, so August, and say I want to work on the 22nd. Again, it will tell me that I've worked on a future date. So now anything that I do in Medisoft now will be done on August 22nd, 2018 instead of April 12th, 2018. So I set it back to April 12th, 2018, but I did want you to know how to change the date. And again, all of this is in your textbook. You want to be very mindful because the dates in Medisoft are very, very important. If you enter incorrect dates, then the data that I'll be grading ends up being and the information, the data that's entered into the reports ends up being incorrect, and so it causes a bunch of problems. So you definitely want to make sure you are paying attention at the beginning of any exercise when it tells you to change the date. So that's important to know. Okay, so then there's some more information in 2.6 that tells you how to complete or how to use some of the more helpful functions in Medisoft. And then we flip over to page 66 and do exercise 2.4. Exercise 2.4 is how to practice using that built-in help that is available to you in Medisoft. So we're going to click on the help menu to get started there. We're going to click on Medisoft Help. And then in the left column, once this pops up here, we're going to select the Index tab. And then we're going to scroll down. You can either scroll down to locate diagnosis entry in the list of terms, or you can type it in here. I don't like scrolling. I just prefer to start typing and let it find it for me. So diagnosis entry, we're going to click that. And then, let me make this a little bigger. Here's the information on the diagnosis entry. So that kind of gives you an idea, but here's all of the helpful hint topics. There's a whole bunch of them in here that you can look for if you click index and then just type in what you're looking for. Hopefully it will help you find something close. So that's how you use the help feature. So that is the exercise for 2.4. The exercise for 2.5 is backing up, and this is super important. You need to back up your work every time you finish any activities in Medisoft. So it's very, very important that you always back up your work. I would suggest that you back it up to a flash drive so it doesn't take up a ton of memory on your computer. But if you want to back it up to your computer, you're welcome to do that. I like to back it up to a flash drive. So whatever you want to do, it's up to you. But you're going to want to learn how to back it up. So to exit Medisoft, you want to click Exit on the File menu. And then it will ask you, this little backup reminder will pop up. And so you want to click the Backup Data Now button. And then another warning comes up that says if there are any other users in this practice that they have to exit before backing up also. But since it's just you working on your at-home version, there shouldn't be any other users. So you can just click OK there. And then you will select your destination. You can either select a different place, or this just backs up to where you have your Medisoft files stored. And so you want to then click Start Backup. So my backup is complete now. You can click OK, and then just click Close. And the Medisoft goes away. So really, that's basically it for how to back up, but it's super easy, yet extremely important that you are backing up every time you close Medisoft. So when we go to exercise 2.6 over on page 69, we want to practice restoring a backup file. So the backups are stored on the C drive, and the Medisoft programs are located on the C drive. So we're going to open the File menu and then click Restore Data. So let me get over there. I don't know if you guys can hear my dogs running around back here, but if you can, I'm so sorry. All that panting, that weird noise in the back, it's totally my dogs. Okay, so I've opened Medisoft back up, and we are back up in the File menu, and we are going to click Restore, and then Restore Data. So then this Restore box pops up, and we click OK. You want to go to the top one. Well, that's the only one we have in here because we've only done one restore point. And then we click on our last restoration, our last backup save, and we start restore. And then we hit OK. And then the restore has been completed. So we hit OK there. We close. Now before you close, again, if you could print your screen and paste that over. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing over here. I'm trying to print it. Paste that here. Then that would be great. I'll go back through and resize that later on. Go back to Medisoft. And we can close that. Oh, it did close. Nope, here, there it is. So then we can close that. Okay, so I went back over and made this a little bit cleaner, and also changed this. I had 2.4 up here, and this is actually exercise 2.6. So just make sure that you are conscientious about changing your labels or labeling your screenshots correctly. So anytime you change something in Medisoft, before you close out of it, I would like for you to screenshot it and label it and paste it into a Word document so that I can track your progress and then grade it. So back over to Medisoft. The rest of Medisoft Chapter 2 is basically just giving you some more direction on how to complete file maintenance utilities, how to, I'm flipping through the book, how to recalculate patient balances, and Medisoft security features, and auto log off, and then the end of the chapter summary. So that's pretty much it to show you what to do for Chapter 2 exercises. So I will see you guys in Chapter 3.